Hi guys, I am Kenya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to avoid real estate scams, whether it be sales or rentals, okay? This is how to avoid being scammed in real estate scams. I have heard of some of these scams, I have seen some of these scams happen, and they ain't pretty. So first things first, if you are working with a real estate agent, that real estate agent should have a business card. You take that person's business card if you want to be sure that that person is actually a real estate agent instead of somebody who is posing to be a real estate agent. Then you can just Google their name and their real estate firm, and their license number will show up on the local, what we call the multiple listing service. It's public information. All the information will come up. So make sure you always get a business card and do your due diligence. Google a sister, Google a brother, and make sure that they are legit. I have had this question posed to me. So I was renting a house to a lawyer. Like, this lady was like neurotic. She was cray cray. So when I was renting her this house or whatever, it was like a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It was like a really like older house. It had like the tub with the feet on it. It was like, it had so much character, but it was like updated, but certain parts of it was still left in its original state. So the man who owned the house, his name was Chris. He lived like 3 houses down from the house, and he was at the house because he was also a construction worker. So he was doing like repairs on the house, fixing up the house, fixing the driveway, fixing the backyard. So when I came there, he was there. I was like, hey, I'm just gonna show her the house. He was like, cool. And I was like, hey, this is the owner. I introduced her to the your. And so she was down to rent the house. Everything was great. And so I gave her the lease, and I was telling her, listen, you have to, make your first month's rent payment out to, and I gave him this man's name. I think his name was like Muhammad something. He had a Muslim name, like an Arab name. He was obviously from the Middle East. And she was like, wait, but I thought the owner's name was Chris. I was like, everybody calls him Chris, but his government name, the name that's on the deed of his house is, Muhammad. She's like, I want to see the deed to this house, because what if he's some shoddy maintenance guy that's working on a house and posing as someone who is renting the house, and he might just take my money and be out. So I'm like, did you not realize that he lived like 3 doors down from you? So because his wife and his kids kept coming up and down the street to talk to him. So if he really tried to scam you, you could literally just walk up the street and bust him one time if you felt like it. Not that I recommend that, but so she was so curious, she asked me to get the deed to the house for her. So I did. And when I tell you, this lady was up all night Googling all this man's information from his first and last name. When I woke up that next morning, I had like 20 different emails of all this information about the landlord. And so she texted me the next day like, yeah, did you get my emails? I was like, yeah. I was asleep when you were doing all your research. And I like sort of chuckled, and she like laughed. I'm like, lady, like, so just a quick little short story, because when you're in real estate, you meet so many different people, so many different kinds of people, so many people where you're just like, really, like I thought I was a little strange, I thought I was weird, but no, I've run into some people who out weirded me, okay? And she was one of them, okay? So if you want to, you could like Google yourself. It's public information. You can Google the deed to a house or any property that you want to just make sure that the owner is who they say that they are. When you're writing your checkout, for your first month's rent, your security deposit, you want to make sure that that money is going to the owner of the house. So that's one way to avoid that type of real estate scam. Because I read an article last year around Christmas. A lady was going around posing as a real estate agent, and she was taking people's monies, you know what I'm saying? So don't get got. Don't get got. Don't say that Kenya ain't warned you, okay? Because I'm trying to tell you, okay? Around last year sometimes, we got an email from the National Board of Realtors basically warning our clients about wire fraud. Basically, we're supposed to like give them a letter basically saying that they are not to wire any money to anybody, because somebody can easily find out that you are looking for an apartment. Maybe somebody is just posting fake ads online, and then they tell you, hey, you have to send your security deposit, wire it here, and you thinking that you're wiring it to a place where you are potentially wanting to rent from, and it's a whole scam, a whole fraud. So just be careful with that. You are not wiring any security deposits or any money down payments to houses. We not wiring none of that. This goes for sales and rentals. Nowhere. Okay, we not wiring it nowhere. All right, that's how you get got. And I was watching a young man on YouTube like maybe the end of last year or earlier this year, maybe last year, where so Brother Pola, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but he is like a huge scammer in the conscious community. That's a whole nother topic about these conscious community scammers. I'll get into that one day on this channel, just not today. So he was supposed to pay a girl to speak at an event, but he also told this lady that he was going to help her get a house and to send her PayPal payment to this girl who he hired to work an event to speak. He was supposed to pay her like a few $1,000s to speak. So he basically told this lady he was going to get her a house and to wire that money to the girl that he hired to speak or whatever. So she got her a few $1,000s from the speaking engagement, and this lady is waiting around. She's trying to call this man. He is ignoring her, you know, paying her dust, no mind. Next thing you know, the girl who spoke at an event who was supposed to get paid for, she got like a message from PayPal saying that somebody was trying to reverse the payment because they didn't get their product or services. So she's like, what's going on? Come to find out, this man that hired her promised another lady that he was going to help her get a house, and he just scammed her out of the money to pay this other lady to speak at an event. So now she probably got the money, spent the money, did whatever she had to do with the money because she had kids too, and now she got to reverse it back to this lady because it was all a scam. So do not send money to any PayPal addresses. I don't even think you could Cash App that much money at a time, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? I just had to tell that quick little story just to emphasize like what I mean by wiring money and what wire fraud is and how you can get locked up for it. You really can. What's his name? Billy McFarland, the whole Fyre Fest guy who put the whole Fyre Fest together, he was locked up for wire fraud. Like I said, it's a whole nother topic. Go watch Fyre Fest on Netflix, or you can either watch it on Hulu to find out the tea on that if you have not heard about it, okay? Also, you want to do certified checks, cashier checks from the bank, bank money orders, or you want to do postal money orders. Not the Western Union joints. Like, get legit money orders only. That's what you want to give to people. And you keep your receipt from your postal money orders, your bank money orders, your cashier's check, your certified checks. This way you could dispute that. Always never write out personal checks. I know some private owners, you can give them a personal check for like the first month's rent. Like a lot of places you can give the first month's rent with a written check. But if you want to cover all your bases, you want to be safe, I say bank money orders, postal money orders if you have to get like a regular money order, cashier's checks, certified checks. I believe cashier's checks and certified checks are the same thing. I believe they are. But the little Western Union checks, money orders, and other little off-brand money orders, stay away from those. I suggest as a landlord, that's what you accept as well for like their first time payments. Also, you never want to make a check out to a real estate agent. Money order, cashier's check, bank money order, you never want to make it out to a real estate agent. So if I am renting an apartment, I say, hey girl, yeah, you gotta write the broker's fee out to Kenya Noel. Yeah, just write it out to me. Or write the first month's rent out or the security deposit out to me. That is a huge no, 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 no. First of all, when you sign a lease, on the lease, the owner's name should be on the lease, the developer's name, or if the property is in an LLC, that is where you write your security deposit and your first month's rent out to. Or maybe I'm a private landlord, I own a 3-family house, and you know, you want to make the payment out to me because I own a house. That's different. However, if you want to be on the safe side, we're going to go back to my first thing that I talked about, which is making sure to check the deed. That's public information. Making sure that the house is even in my name, because like I said, you don't want to get got. And like I mentioned earlier, the real estate agent who was going around renting apartments, and she was collecting people's monies by having them write their money orders and checks and give her cash personally and put everything in her name. So it was hard for these people to even get their monies back because they technically gave it to her, you know. And in this article, it was never established, like they never were able to figure out if this lady was really a real estate agent or not. So just be careful, because it's hard out here in these streets. People are poor and they will do whatever. You got white collar criminals out here, not even poor and destitute people. You got white collar criminals who for a career scam people, embezzle money, make thousands and millions of dollars at working class people's expense, and they live happily ever after. I got a story time on my YouTube channel called I Got Locked Up for Mortgage Fraud, and I basically tell you how I had a landlord who got locked up for mortgage fraud and how she was a scam artist and how she scammed all her tenants. Like, watch that story time, go through my story time playlist and watch the story time I got locked up for mortgage fraud. Like, when I tell you, this lady made millions of dollars. And she was from Brazil. I think she was here like on a green card or whatever. And she got locked up in 2010. Right on for mortgage fraud. Yeah, don't get got. And in that story, I think in that story time, I basically told you how to avoid like everything that I went through in that story. So check it out if you're interested, or if you're just nosy, you know what I'm saying, you want to know the tea on that. So I hope that these tips that I have given you were helpful. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming to kick it with me today, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next YouTube video. Toodles.
Where did you come from, lady? And ooh, won't you take me there right away? Won't you, baby? Tenderoni, you've got to be. Spark my need, your sugar fly.